Hello everyone, this is Dale Stratton at Dean Dorton. We're continuing with our core Excel tips and tricks for accounting and development. Today's topic is graphing data. I'd like to show you how to graph data using two very common types of charts. I'd like to use the column chart and the pie chart and show you where each would be applicable. Now, what I've got is I've got a monthly total sheet on my screen. Graphs work very well for summarized or cumulative data. They don't work very well for detail lines. They want to show or represent something that you've summed together or a count of something. So what I've got is I have different classifications of donor and how many times that classification donor donated something in the months of January, February, and March. I'd like to represent this data with a graph. Now to start off with, I'm going to start with the pie chart. Pie charts don't work well with multiple sets of data. They work well with one set of data. So for instance, I could chart my classifications in 1 month. But if I tried to chart my classifications in multiple months, it wouldn't know how to allocate that to the different pieces of the pie. So it wouldn't know whether to make January numbers a piece of the pie or February or the classifications. So I'm going to stick to classification in 1 month. On the Insert tab, I'm going to go to the pie chart. So I choose pie, and now I have several choices of pie chart that I'd like to work with. I'm going to choose a 3D exploded pie. Click the button, and now I have a pie chart. As soon as I have the pie chart, 3 extra tabs open up for me in the toolbar. I've got Design, Layout, and Format. Those are all under Chart Tools. If you happen to click away from your chart, notice that toolbar disappears. So to get those tabs back, simply click back on your chart area and your tabs come back. Now, in order to be able to see this a little easier, I'm going to move this chart from an embedded object on this spreadsheet to its own sheet. So I'm going to click on my chart. On the Design tab, I'm going to go to the Move Chart button. I'll choose that. I'm going to pick as a new sheet, and I'm going to call this January Pie. When I click OK, now I have a chart on an entire sheet by itself. Now, to explore these 3 tabs, I could change my chart type, I could save a template, I can switch row and column information. A lot of these won't come into place on the pie chart. I also have different types of layouts. So with simple clicks, you can move around your keys, your headings, and your titles. So simply just click on these different types of layouts to pick what works best for you. Now do remember that if you mess up your chart and don't like what you end up with, you can always delete the sheet and start over because you've not messed with any of the originating data. So pick the layout you like and then pick the style that you like. So I've got multiple hues and colors and shades that I can pick from, or I can leave multicolored. Now I have a Layout tab. Several options on it, so I could work with the chart title. I can move it to the center, I can move it above the chart, or get more options. I could move the legend to wherever I like, so I can show the key at the top, or I could move my legend key back to the right, wherever I like it. Data labels, I can decide how they go, so I want them in the center. I want the data labels outside, so they're a little bit easier to read in the white area now. You can do this any which way you like, whatever seems to work best for you. Now, 3D rotation. If you click this button, a 3D rotation box pops up. And you can simply click these buttons to rotate the chart to make it fit the screen however you like. So maybe I want my largest piece down here towards the bottom. Then the Format tab. On the Format tab, I have several choices to change the way the words look, the way the pieces of the pie look, the other data sets look, anything that I want. Now what you have to be careful of here is to be aware of what you're working on. So for instance, if I click somewhere on my pie, notice that every single piece is selected. If I make changes, I'm making changes to all pieces. If I wanted to change just say the color of the largest piece, I could click again, and now notice the little dots are around just this one piece of the pie, so I know that's all I'm working on. So now I could go to my shape fill and change that to a, say, brighter yellow to make that stand out. And with just this one piece selected, I could click and drag it further out to explode it more from the rest of the pie, or drag it back in to push the pie back together. Now, the next thing I want to show you is quickly a bar chart. So I'm going to go back to my data set, and this time I'm going to chart classifications for January, February, and March. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut. I'm going to use the F11 keyboard shortcut. When I hit F11, it automatically creates a column chart for me that I can then use the same design, layout, and format tabs to change to look as I want it to. Thank you very much and have a great day.